wrestling debate.
For new subscribers, for the full month of November, you can subscribe to the network, and it will be absolutely free.
Oh my god, that is funny! There you go.
And who's to say people, they might subscribe for November, but then just drop it after November.
Yeah. So we got a free month.
Yeah, we got a free month then,
And now here's Tyler Warner and Wayne Church.
Yes, we only got one more show of Raw until the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which will be absolutely free for new subscribers.
No, yeah. Yes.
For new subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah. Thing just said hi to me.
Okay. For existing subscribers like you and
like
me,
us, yeah.
Still paying the $9.99.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, which we mentioned last week on the show. But I guess anyways, I guess we'll get on to talking about Raw this past week, and
which
well,
I'm not gonna lie, didn't really see any of it.
Yeah, of course it was in London, England.
Yes.
So
which is just perfect since that's where they failed to launch the network.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah, and not only it wasn't it wasn't live or anything, and WWE kind of went on to spoil some things on the spoil a lot of things, like revealing a lot of pictures of what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that before watching Raw.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yes. That's why I decided not to watch Raw too much, because I was like, okay, well, I know what happened. Saw the ending with Ryback, and that was about it.
Yeah. Yeah, not only that, we had a Monday Night Eagles football game going on, so obviously that was, at least part of why I didn't watch it live, but I would go.
I should say that I stopped watching the Eagles game around 10, because at that point the game was over.
Yeah, that's true. It was pretty one-sided.
So then I switched over and I watched the fall season finale of The Blacklist, which I'm a big fan of that show. So
yeah.
And after that, then I switched over to Raw and caught the ending of Cena and the ending of Cena Ryback.
Yeah. But did you see the beginning of anything of what happened and how they got to that point?
No, all I knew from the Twitter feed was that Ryback at one point spinebustered Cena.
Okay. All right.
Because they show the image on Twitter.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
The question mark is Ryback joining Team Authority?
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess then we can start with that. I guess obviously,
yeah.
You saw pictures of it, but basically it was Cena coming out and then Ryback coming out, and basically, Ryback was called out by Cena essentially.
Yeah.
And Ryback came out and basically all Ryback said was the big guy is back, and as he's saying that, Triple H's music hits and the Authority comes out. So
yeah,
I'm thinking I would actually see some kind of exchange here, but I guess that wasn't in the plans. So the Authority came out and they're basically saying kind of the whole same spiel that they kind of were saying to Dolph Ziggler last week, and
yeah,
and with Ryback and Ryback didn't really talk at all until the end, but Cena was going back and forth a little bit with the Authority instead. And then basically at the end you had Ryback saying how he's not afraid of the Authority, and then he said, but I also don't see John Cena's name at the bottom of my paychecks or whatever. So then he turned around and picked him up and spinebustered him, and that was that. And it appeared that he was part of Team Authority then at that point. And so yeah, at that point I'm thinking I was a little surprised. I thought oh man, I guess they're gonna they're turning Ryback heel, and at the same time I was thinking, I think of the rest of Team Cena, how they're trying to get people together, and how thus far it had only been Cena and Ziggler, and it's it just kind of goes to show the baby faces on this roster right now with
they actually included supposedly they included Jack Swagger at one point.
Yeah.
Which was just which when I saw that on Twitter feed, I'm just granted they did an injury angle later on in the show to kick him off the team pretty much. Yeah. But which was good. Shows you the joke Jack Swagger has turned into on the roster.
Yeah, that too. I was thinking they have it's Ziggler, and now he's recruiting Jack Swagger. He's I got this guy, I got Ziggler and I got Jack Swagger. I'm Jack Swagger has basically been off TV since the Rusev feud, and
yes,
and I'm thinking
which I called, by the way. I called that.
Yeah,
I called that.
And I'm thinking, like, is this like the sad state of the, right now the baby faces, it, on the WWE roster? I mean, minus Dean Ambrose, who's feuding with Bray Wyatt now, and Orton, who's like kind of a tweener, but
No, he's pretty much straight up babyface with that angle. He's straight up babyface.
Character wise,
I want to be a tweener, but he's pretty much gonna be straight up babyface.
Yeah, and of course he's kind of in an injury angle right now himself. Anyway, they said he's out indefinitely with a concussion. So I'm pretty sure that hints at something with Survivor Series.
No. Actually, I don't see Orton showing up at all. I mean, I originally thought he was going to be the mystery member for maybe Team Cena, but
now it looks like they have
they have a full. Both sides have a full lineup. I think. Not to mention, I don't know how long it's going to take to film The Condemned 2. I really don't know. Like I said, once again, it's Orton getting sloppy seconds pretty much. I mean, first it was 12 rounds 2, and now he's getting The Condemned 2.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they pointed out how he's out indefinitely, and how Zack Ryder, who had a once in a blue moon appearance last week on Raw.
Yeah.
They said he's out. Cena said he was out for like 6 months now, and so it's like these are the guys Jack Swagger and Zack Ryder last week, and I don't know, it's just kind of sad with the sad, symbolic of the sad state of baby faces right now, top baby faces.
I mean, like I said, and then you got, of course, the Big Show and Sheamus. So I mean, listen, Sheamus has just been hanging around for a while, but he's been like very protected.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been a very protected guy in that. Big Show, much like Kane, I give the guys credit. They somehow can stay relevant in this organization for so long.
Big Show with like his ribs wrapped in tape underneath his attire. Yeah, running out there and
like I said, and then of course look at the Team Authority. You got Seth Rollins, Kane. You got Rusev now. You got Mark Henry, and of course now
at the very end
and Luke Harper, which I gotta admit I didn't see that coming, Willie. But I'm happy for Luke Harper. It's a whole lot better than the Eric Rowan gig right now.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, a big opportunity for Harper to make a statement at least. I don't see him like being the sole survivor of the team.
Yeah,
but
maybe he'll be like one of the last, like maybe
might be one of the last guys.
I could see it being I could see it being Rollins and him.
Or Rusev. I think.
That's
it's
true.
not going to be Mark Henry. He'll probably be one of the first ones gone. Kane, same thing. Probably one of the first.
Yeah.
Those two guys, their times have already. I mean, their job pretty much now is, besides maybe trying to still stay relevant in the company, is to put over the young guys.
Yeah.
These guys can't carry a belt anymore. I mean, granted, I don't see anybody in the company legitimately saying, let's put the belt on Kane, Big Show, Mark Henry at any point, because they're way past their prime right now.
Yeah. So, that's, of course, at the very end of Raw, that's where they got Luke Harper, of course. And, yeah, I mean, it's nice they're bringing him back into the fold. And, and again, like throughout the night, I mean, initially it was, Ryback is going to be on this team. And, Kane was like saying how he's going to be out there for the, in the ring later for his match against John Cena. And I mean, he didn't like that, and things like Seth Rollins was saying later on he didn't like, and just like several backstage scenes like that, and Ryback kind of like warming up mentally, and just kind of like ticked off, and at that point I'm thinking like maybe he'll be like a tweener character here or something, or a wild card guy on this team, and then you get to the match later on in the night against John Cena. Which is pretty good. You actually saw some like new moves out of Ryback, I thought, and of course Kane was out there in the Authority. Kane getting Cena shoved into him, and then Kane eventually interfering, and basically that's where Ryback would kind of lose it and basically turn on Team Authority, and of course that's when Sheamus and Big Show would come running out and try to settle, even up the score a little bit.
But they all got their asses kicked.
Right, yeah. And then Ryback got back to, back in the ring and started, doing some moves and
took out all of Team Authority and then just walked to the back pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Cena just stood up and just looked shocked and then started
Cena's
clapping.
looking kind of smiling, and then just starts clapping. Yeah.
Because I guess assuming
because he's
already, I guess he's on my team now.
Yeah. I guess thinking like he just wants to come in and destroy people, and because like earlier in the night, how he like spinebustered Cena himself, but now he's just destroying Team Authority out there, and basically, obviously now he's not a part of Team Authority, like unlike what we thought earlier in the night. So yeah, I mean that's that was kind of that, Ryback kind of looking like a star tonight on Raw. So yeah, it was good signs.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though. The Survivor Series I think could be a very light card as far as matches go, though.
Yeah, it's feeling like it.
There's only no, just the fact that it's a 5-on-5 Survivor Series, and 2 of the people winning it are champions.
Yeah,
the Intercontinental champion won. Actually, the Intercontinental and the United States champion both won the same. No, sorry, Rusev beat Sheamus.
Yeah,
Sheamus.
But so you have a former U.S. champion on the other team. Yeah.
But you got Ziggler, who's the Intercontinental champion, and you got Rusev, who's the United States champion. So those 2 matches are out the window at Survivor Series. Big Show, Mark Henry were in a feud, so they could have their match at Survivor Series. That probably is a plus. We already seen Mark Henry Big Show in one-on-one action.
I agree.
I mean, the rest of the card right now, it's Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, which I'm kind of glad at least they're having a match on Survivor Series, and Nikki Bella versus AJ for the Divas Championship. And the other 2 matches that are rumored right now is for the kickoff show, Adam Rose versus the Bunny. I guess we're gonna maybe hopefully unveil who the Bunny is. I guess maybe finally. Apparently they decided to finally turn Adam Rose heel. I don't know what that's gonna do.
Yeah, if anything.
I would kind of hope that he would maybe. I would hope that maybe he ditches the character, just goes back to maybe being his Leo Kruger character.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't even come out dancing anymore. Like I said, I don't know who the hell the Bunny is. I mean, supposedly it was originally said to be Darren Young because of the whole feuding with Titus O'Neil and Heath Slater deal. To kind of maybe have Darren Young get revenge on Titus O'Neil, maybe being his former partner. But then besides that, I mean, I think most of the time the Bunny's been played by, I believe, Sami Zayn most of the time. But that would be a shitty way for the guy to debut in the company. Although he has been showing on Main Event a lot recently, but mainly fighting Tyson Kidd. Who actually I'm loving the fact that at least Tyson Kidd's getting some wins now, at least in the company. I'm really digging the whole him and Natalia kind of friction there.
Yeah,
it to me it almost feels it feels like straight up Macho Man versus Miss Elizabeth pretty much. But I don't know if that's going to lead anywhere with Tyson Kidd though. But at least they're taking advantage of a great idea that he pretty much did down in NXT. But I mean, the only other match then is there might be a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Tag Team Championship involving The Miz and Damian Sandow, Los Matadores, the Usos, and Stardust and Goldust.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much most of. I mean, I don't know what other match you would throw in after. So would that might just be, Tyler, besides a kickoff match, 4 main matches on the pay-per-view. Yeah. Great, it's free. It's free anyway.
Then again, it's it is free, so
But like I said, no, I'm like I can't. There's no other really feud happening right now besides the Survivor Series one, which is just made up of multiple other feuds.
Yeah,
pretty much. That just got fallen into one massive match. I mean, like I said, I would be surprised if this Survivor Series match goes maybe 40+ minutes, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably have to, unless they plan on having crap load of filler of just whatever. But.
Yeah, like maybe Hornswoggle versus El Torito number 6 maybe or 7.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, no, but unless you throw an NXT match, maybe. But I there's nothing.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. This is how lackluster the roster is, really.
Yeah. That
once you have a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, you pretty much destroy your undercard.
Else. Yeah.
Which shows you right away how lackluster this roster is.
Yeah.
Which once again explains to you why the business might be is doing so badly right now.
Yeah.
When it's just there's nothing. There's
the network
nothing.
Specifically. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if numbers have gone up for the network even
we're not gonna know until maybe the end of the year, or at least the beginning of next year probably.
Yeah. I guess we won't really know, but
I mean, like I said, failed watch probably I don't know if you heard that too. Would be taped, of course. They edited out a lot of the we where's our network chants that a lot of the UK crowd was doing all night.
That's pretty good.
I mean, even people even showed pictures, took pictures of live events where I don't know if you notice on like the ring coverings now they put WWE/network now.
Yeah.
Well, they actually have now like for UK they actually put like tape over the network part.
Yeah.
So like they're trying so hard not to embarrass themselves over the UK right now.
Yeah.
Even though they know they screwed up royally with this launch deal, which I said it's probably gonna affect some buys. So the UK probably says the United States is maybe the second largest wrestling network they can probably get as far as viewership in that. Maybe you can make argument for Canada. Granted, Canadians getting screwed with the whole deal of the network, and that. I still have no idea what the hell this deal in the UK is going to launch.
Yeah.
You hope soon because this company needs some positive deal with this network here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also curious too with the pay-per-view being free now. Do these wrestlers get any bonuses now?
Like, yeah,
because there's no those bonuses usually come from the money from people watching these things.
Yeah,
and if most people are getting this thing for free, do you not get a bonus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, it's just really embarrassing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if this network fails, it's not the end of the company. They still got their TV deals, which is still going to really bring it. Which is the only thing that's really bringing in a lot of money for the company right now. They lose that though. I mean, God.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody brought this up too about an interesting theory, which was that if the company did lose their TV deal, the network would be a good substitute for them to show their products until they found maybe a new location, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that could only last for so long before they actually got to find an actual TV deal because then the company would go under then.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like NBC Universal, even though it's a low deal, seems still pretty happy keeping the wrestling on their products. Now, the fact that no one else wants wrestling on their shows is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Because that means probably no competition for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and if the network flopped and they didn't, you'd wonder if pay-per-views, they have to go back old-fashioned way of pay-per-views.
Assuming any satellite provider or cable provider wasn't even provide them again.
Yeah.
Because it was like pay-per-views did massive business even before the network.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why they kind of were okay showing their pay-per-views for a very cheap price on the networks, because besides really WrestleMania, maybe the Royal Rumble, and maybe even occasionally some SummerSlam, most of their pay-per-views didn't sell well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to compare them to boxing pay-per-views or UFC pay-per-views. They just didn't sell well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, other things on the show. I mean, obviously, Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose, they have some interesting little promos. I guess you don't really, see them in person really as
because
much,
they weren't there.
Well, they weren't. No, but I mean,
they were with the SmackDown
on
crew.
SmackDown. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
so they had to pre-tape their segments and that.
Yeah, but so they had a couple interesting short little pre-tape segments. The Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt, they're like two guys that are, Bray Wyatt says, going straight to hell and whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Once again, it shows you how the loss of the roster is.
Yeah.
When we do a massive European tour, particularly just in the UK, you can't have all your main guys on one show live because you have to have them all for the taping, at some other show and that. So it blows my mind right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
I mean, like I said,
shook things up.
We'll see what happens when Roman Reigns and maybe Bad News Barrett comes back and Dean Ambrose. I'm sorry, and Daniel Bryan comes back. Maybe that will bring some more interest to the company again. I mean, for me, Bad News Barrett not being on there as a heel really hurt the heel side. Even though I think the guy was starting to get over as a babyface. I mean, when they start mimicking your catchphrase, you're no longer a heel in my mind.
Everyone's saying I've got some bad news along with them.
But I mean, but obviously Roman Reigns is supposed to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there when he comes back. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he's going to come back after TLC, which means the next maybe is the Royal Rumble, which means I am just be interested. The company's still going to want to gamble with the guy since he missed so much off programming.
I didn't. Now there was an article that floated out. I didn't read it yet, but I saw the title of the article that Roman Reigns is supposedly, trying to take some acting lessons right now.
I've heard about that, and I've actually heard. I caught two reports in season. The first one was that Reigns was taking acting lessons, because and it was confirmed by a guy who supposedly is an acting coach.
Yeah.
And so I'm teaching Roman lessons. That Apparently, a follow up to the story was that this was by the company's order too, because obviously this is going to be the next John Cena. He's going to be doing a lot of interviews and that, so he has to come off professionally when he does interviews here. So he can't be this cool, calm, collective guy on even. He's got to like do what Cena does, which is plug the hell out of the company, look professional. I mean, in that. So, I mean, so clearly, that shows you one thing. That the dead serious about Reigns taking over for Cena. And B, that Roman's definitely serious about the fact that, I got to improve in this area, area, and this. Especially I want to be taken seriously as the next big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about this rumor, too, that I guess popped up also in C-Scoops, which is that WWE might put the belt on Cena for Mania, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I'm interested in seeing how a lot of other people react to that.
Well, no, I mean, the argument is just that the company's starting to panic that the fact that since Brock's not been on television, that maybe it was a bad idea to keep the belt on him, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's really...
Although he'll probably be back, for WrestleMania season, he'll be back more often.
Well, but his next big match is at the Rumble.
Right, yeah.
Defending against Cena, supposedly. The other argument is that with no guarantee Brock's gonna stay with the company after Mania this year.
Yeah.
They think that maybe
there's UFC rumors.
They think that maybe the results for the Mania event will be pretty self-explanatory. Roman's obviously going to go over.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, even if it's Cena versus Roman, everybody's going to assume Roman's going to win because if Cena wins, it's. All you really did was you had your top guy put down a rising star on a main event.
Yeah.
And all that shows is that your rising star is nowhere near as good as your established top guy is, really.
Yeah.
So. No, but that's supposedly the logic there is that they think that by having maybe Cena versus Roman face off instead of Lesnar and Roman, the outcome's a little more it's not as predictable because Cena is a full-time worker.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
There are some people who probably would still say, this is WWE. Vince might pay at the last second and say, I don't think Roman's ready for the belt. Let's have Cena go over at Mania.
Yeah.
And maybe next year could be the guy's moment, maybe. But like I said, we'll see. I mean, the other argument was maybe have Rollins, but they don't. There's a lot of people saying that would not be a strong marketing feud as having Rollins versus Roman for the belt.
Yeah.
Like I said, and he has till June to cash in his Money in the Bank contract there, so he has plenty of time to maybe cash in on. I'm assuming it's going to be Roman Reigns eventually, but it's assuming it's going to be after Mania and that. But so like I said, there's nothing really to worry about there, but. It sounds like it's down to Cena Lesnar. So at least that Royal Rumble match coming up a little more interesting now. That the fact that they might now not go with the original idea, which is have Lesnar go. Now, granted, I mean
the whole streak idea.
Yeah, like I said, that begs the question. Then again, if you followed Shawn Michaels and the fact that I think Vince made the decision like maybe a few minutes before the match that was what that's what the finish was going to be or something like that. It was like the way Shawn worded it was that it wasn't like it was long term. It was decided that day.
Yeah.
And supposedly only like a few minutes before the match. I mean, it was either a few hours or a few minutes, but it was very short term notice. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it was he had Brock and Taker in like one area together, and he just said, so looked at Mark Calloway's face. Said, Mark, you got to put Brock over. I mean, and look, I think. At the end of the day, how much Taker's worked, I'll say this again. If Taker was okay with it, it's no big deal then, still. But the fact that it's still a big deal to have whoever Brock loses next to. Now, granted, technically Brock did lose to Cena at Night of Champions, created by DQ.
Yeah.
So it's not like the guy has a blemish record at this moment here. But, having Roman Reigns be the guy that beat the one in the one in tournament, I think that would be bigger than saying Cena won and then Cena, I mean, but like I said, Reigns beating Cena would still have that same magic because that is still the top guy that you beat there. So, but that makes that Rumble match interesting now.
Yeah,
it makes the rest of the card interesting because that makes you wonder, well, who would Brock face at Mania? Because he's still probably going to be facing somebody at Mania. Like I said, there's still the Hulk Hogan and Sting rumors there. I mean, Grant Hogan's case still has to pass a physical. I doubt he's going to pass a physical. Sting has passed a physical too. I think his chance is better. He's a little more in better shape than Hulk Hogan is.
Yeah.
I don't know who Sting's gonna face. I mean, the odds on favorite for me would be Triple H, but that could change if Rock ends up facing him at Mania. Now, granted, Rock's now got a movie filming. He's gonna film a movie now with Kevin Hart, supposedly in the spring, which might affect any chance of him wrestling at Mania to begin with. So, who knows there?
Who knows?
And even if the match is, let's say he starts filming maybe even in April, Rock, his last 2 matches he wrestled and he hurt himself. So, who's to say this guy doesn't? He at the end of the day, he's a movie star first, wrestler second.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that at this point in his career. Also, the guy's, although he's still in great shape, he's getting older. So
yeah.
And like I said, and also begs the question, who would Rusev face then at Mania? I mean, I said earlier, I'd say Ryback now. If you're gonna push the guy as a monster, you might as well have him beat Rusev maybe then. I mean, granted, I think it would be stupid if it was Cena versus Rusev and the U.S. Championship was on the line.
Yeah.
The fact that
Yeah.
I mean, great. I should say it's stupid because the fact that then the face of the company would want to win the U.S. belt. Don't know how he was going to hang on to the belt though. It's not like it's not a made card belt. It's a mid card belt. But we'll see what happens there. But I mean, the Rumble is going to be an interesting story as far as A, Lesnar versus Cena, but B, who's going to win the Rumble match? Because I'd be interested to see if they actually stick with their guns and still want to ride the Roman Reigns train all the way up to Mania. Because I'm not gonna lie, I still was kind of mixed on the guy when he got hurt because there's still the guy can wrestle matches. I think, although like I said, that order match at SummerSlam was it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like what I was hoping it would be in it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, man, it's because I saw the match already at a live event months ahead of time, and I already knew that Orton was not going to go over. Because even Orton's at the stage in his career where he's really reached the peak of his potential. He's really not going to go any higher than where he's already been so far. So I think he's even at the point in his career where, like on Monday, he'll put over young guys now, clean even. Yeah. I mean, hell, he let Rollins do a backslide pin on him and won clean.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no cheating or shenanigans. He won clean.
Yeah.
The young guy pulled a fast one on the veteran. That's pretty much what the story was, which pissed Orton off. I mean, but that's what happened there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know going forward here, but Rumble's gonna be an interesting story there. Let's see who they're gonna go with.
Yeah, yeah, and with like Roman Reigns, I'm interested in when he comes back. Seeing if how these acting lessons maybe pay off for him, and maybe some of these promos.
I mean, like I said, all we've seen him so far is do 2 pre-tape interviews. One was just terrible. That wasn't on his. That was a hit on his, and that was on.
It wasn't even like
that was on. The production end.
It was.
And the second one was slightly better, but still, I mean. I think it's better. The guy just came out maybe, in the middle of the ring maybe one night. Just said, hey, it's going well, and doesn't need to do anything. Just to come out and maybe say some words and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if he comes back after TLC, I mean, that's, kind of right around the corner anyway. So, maybe there'll be time between then and the Royal Rumble maybe to see where he's at with, his acting ability, I guess, his promos. See if they improve, I guess. I mean,
besides acting too, Dave Bautista's a key factor too for Mania this year. I mean, Grant, if he's going to be working if he's working on a new James Bond film, I doubt, just like The Rock, he'll have any filming time to have a wrestling match in there.
Yeah.
Once again, I think just like The Rock, I think acting now is his first calling and wrestling's his second. So and in his case, why come back? The fans treat you like shit the last time he came back. At least with The Rock, he gets like some respect here. I mean, hell, even during the 2K reveal, the fans in attendance for the reveal even booed Batista when his name popped up. And I remember John Cena just saying, "What? Nobody saw Guardians of the Galaxy?"
So I guess we'll see what happens next week on Raw. There wasn't too much else of at least from my perspective.
I mean, like I said, Adam Rose once again getting mad the bunny.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever the hell the bunny is. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's funny there when people keep saying like do these ramp and supposedly London there were wild CM Punk chants again, especially when AJ came out.
There were other chants throughout the I think there were some JBL chants and said some stuff and I don't know, again maybe some of that has to do with the network not being available and just I mean once again I think the fan base right now has this belief in some areas of the country that when they show up. I mean, look, even at our live event, I heard fans in the back like
they're almost watching the product based on empathy now, pretty much. Like they're not enjoying the product that they're watching right now, but they can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
It's like an addiction for some people. It's like I hate wrestling right now, but I can't stop watching it because I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's like an addiction. Yeah, so yeah, and I guess as far as live events around the Royal Rumble time, I haven't seen one that'll come in the direction of Reading.
I don't know. I just shout it out because I know it's in Philadelphia, and usually live events would be close in the area. And I mean, hell, the last Rumble last year was at Pittsburgh, and even then, the day before they had a live event at Reading.
Yeah,
so. I mean, so they still have not shown really all the live events in January either, so there's still time yet.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, we are a small area too,
right?
So there's not a guarantee. Also, we weren't selling. It was like which is like I said, it's kind of sad of the product when you can't even sell out the Santander Center, which is kind of a very small arena.
Yeah.
And like I said, you even with Cena that they couldn't sell out the place. So
like
I said, I know we're not living in the golden age of wrestling, but this is sad when a product can't even like sell like even the smallest of arenas they can't sell out in. Granted, like they can still sell out for like maybe Raw tape. Well, I should even say Raw because you can still see like the areas they cover up and I mean, to be fair, you only see the camera side most matches anyway. So who's to say that the side that's facing your back, there's like barely anybody there.
Yeah, they just tell everybody to go the other direction. I don't know, but so
I mean, for SmackDown tapings, sometimes what they do is they throw in a different crowd sometimes, so that way the stadiums look filled every time.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. I remember one time somebody like showed an actual SmackDown taping and the place looked like it was a ghost town almost. But yet that on that Friday sold out.
Yeah.
So I mean, with tapings you can just throw in different crowds sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically, that's for Survivor Series. That's kind of what it's looking like right now. Basically, the 5-on-5 tag match and a couple of other matches.
Maybe 3. So maybe a 4-match card, which makes you assume that Bray and Dean are gonna have a long match, but also the Survivor Series match could be the longest Survivor Series match in the history of WWE.
Yeah. And I guess also SmackDown is moving back to Thursday nights if that's
so I heard
big
about that.
news for some people. I mean,
apparently the reason why they delayed it originally, Sci-Fi, is because of NFL on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
If you look at when they start, it's when the NFL was in their playoff season, so there's no competition.
No more Thursday, yeah.
Look, they're getting their ass kicked on Monday nights. SmackDown does lower ratings than Raw, so what would SmackDown do against Thursday Night Football? Probably get their asses kicked even more.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point where maybe Raw.
I agree.
SmackDown's ratings would be so abysmal. Maybe Sci-Fi even just says, we can't keep this program on our channel anymore.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't think SmackDown has really a point anymore.
Yeah, not too
it's
much.
Not like it's not like you watch SmackDown and it's like, oh shit, I really missed something special on this show here. I mean, the last episode that was, in my mind, that was special was when Alberto Del Rio won the world title from Big Show.
Because it was like a while ago.
It was a world title change on a SmackDown taping.
Yeah,
that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's pretty unheard of. So yeah.
That's maybe the last time where it's like, oh shit, I really missed something, And actually, we were watching that because I'm curious how that happened. It was in Miami, so it was a very loud vocal crowd for Del Rio.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was supposed to be the start of his like big baby face push, pretty much, but which kind of didn't go over as well. Grand. I think what happened still with him was that you take away his cars and then his announcer, and all you got left is it's just his plain guy, pretty much. I mean, it doesn't do a whole lot for the guy. Like I said, the guy's gone now. I mean, I've heard he's either working AAA or maybe Lucha Underground now, maybe. Yeah. So the guy's gonna find work because he's an international star. He'll find success somewhere else, pretty much. Yeah.
Now, this week on SmackDown, I guess we have a Chris Jericho highlight reel.
Yeah, Jericho came back actually.
Yeah, which is
I mean, it's kind of weird though. It was kind of just like they just said it. Oh, Jericho's returning on this Friday
out of nowhere. Yeah.
No promotional video. Nothing. just hey guys, Jericho's back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he hasn't been gone very long, obviously, but still, I mean, I you'd think that they'd make it a bigger deal, and I don't know, but I don't know. I guess
I'm curious though how long they keep Jericho on the roster though.
Yeah.
you watch some of his podcasts that he does there. He's been shitting a whole lot in the company. It's kind of like Austin too. They plugged the hell to Austin's podcast, but he's really has hammered home a lot of negativity towards like the network and certain aspects of the company and creative, and certain guys on the roster, or certain guys who he likes, but he can't believe the company's just dropping the ball. Like he really likes Cesaro, Austin.
Yeah.
He thinks Cesaro in his mind is a once in a lifetime athlete, and if the company screws it up and loses this guy, he doesn't know what to think of the company anymore.
Yeah.
The guy's a genetic freak as far as an athlete goes.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, but he's very athletic there, and he's very fast. He can do some high risk moves too. The guy's a once in a lifetime athlete here, so the company screws him up.
Yeah.
It doesn't show positive. Like I said, this is Austin. There's a reason why this guy left 2002. It's because he hated creative. Granted, there was some other issues too, his neck and certain areas too. But he, but I laugh when they ever plug Austin's podcast on like WWE television.
Yeah.
And yet you watch his podcast and it's almost him shitting on the company nonstop and that. And how, man, they wouldn't lose interest in the fans in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of Cesaro, like, it's unfortunate now. I don't think they're gonna have a place for him on Survivor Series unless they throw something together.
The guy's been on a losing streak.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, once again, I hope the rumor about that this isn't punishment because he had the balls to say in an interview, well, no, everybody's sick and tired of Cena versus Orton for the 100th, 20th time in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true.
It kind of is true. But who knows?
WWE doesn't let, the higher-ups don't approve of that.
Oh, speaking of SmackDown taping, I don't know if you heard about the whole Vince McMahon showing up just randomly and chastising the crowd for not being vocal or loud or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard of that, but I didn't.
I saw the video. I saw the video. It's, I don't know. It's supposed to happen like right after the opening segment. Like he randomly just came out and just like said like, so like, what's the matter with you people? And and made like a joke about Liverpool, like something like that, and says look, it sounded like a disease. Like Liverpool sounds like a random disease or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but he would just chastise the crowd, and it's just like, come on, be happy and smile and have a good time, damn it, And
yeah.
It's like, oh my god. I mean,
that was basically it. Like it was part of SmackDown, or was it like?
No, it was dark. He just randomly showed up after a segment and just talked to the crowd, and the way the crowd took it as was he didn't like what's coming out of their mouths. Yeah. So he's like, "Be happy. This is have a good time. You had a show and all that, and it's just
let's make some noise.
I mean, but like I said, I mean, honestly, I mean, up to that point, I think somebody said the only chance of really that happened because supposedly this came out after the opening segment, which was the Jericho highlight reel segment with Triple H and Stephanie. And during the whole segment, even though people said it was a good segment, there was nothing but where's the network chance? It never stopped. It never stopped. Yeah. And after that, Vince comes out here. So I guess Vince was pretty much coming out saying stop being dicks in the crowd here. Like, cheer for the guys you want to cheer for, and boo the guys we tell you to boo, and stop being independent people here.
Yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting though. If anybody I wonder if anybody got a YouTube footage of it. Like
that's where I saw it.
Oh, you saw it on the phone. There's
actual video of this happening.
That's
Tyler.
Something to research.
He actually is coming out and saying this stuff here.
That sounds hilarious. I'll have to.
I mean, I think people were kind of cheering afterwards, but I think some people were also just shocked that here's this crazy old man coming out here and just going on a random rant, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god. Has it really gotten that bad in the company?
Yeah. That's an interesting thing to YouTube this. Well, I'll probably do that later today if I get a chance. But
yeah, like I said, it's just.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean,
I don't know. The only news story that broke on my Facebook page, because I like the Marvel official Facebook page, was that Pulk's going to write a story for Marvel apparently.
Yeah, I think I heard of that sometime. I'm not sure.
Apparently, he's going to write for, I think it's Thor Annual #1. I don't know if that's the because I don't know if you follow comics that much, Tyler. But the big story with Thor is that there's a new Thor now who's female.
Okay.
So there's the old Thor who's now unworthy Thor because he doesn't have the hammer anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know what Thor he's writing for, but it's Thor Annual #1, I believe. Now, supposedly how his job as a writer is not. He's not gonna be writing like actual like bubbles or anything like that. His goal is more of kind of creative. He's got to come up with an original story, pitch it to a writer who actually fills in the bubbles in that. So it's kind of more almost. I feel like almost like a creative consultant more than a writer though. But he's suppose he's been hired as Marvel as a writer. Now, if the story does well, he'll get more stories probably. Yeah. It's a day-to-day kind of deal in that. But the guy, if you watch his documentary on Best in the World, you know the guy's an avid comic book reader. Yeah. I remember like one time backstage, he actually showed his collection of comic books that he has. So the guy has, who knows, a plethora of knowledge of comics in that, I'm sure. Yeah. And besides, Thor makes sense. After all, if you watch his DVD again, at Comic-Con he took pictures with Stan Lee and Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor in the Marvel movies. Yeah. So he literally has met Thor in real life too. So, although I'm shocked Marvel because his favorite character is supposed to be Batman, and that's DC, but I guess Marvel is more close. Yeah. And that, so no, I just said about that. So he's finding employment too. Yeah. Apparently he's also going to be showing up on The Talking Dead this Sunday. Because he's a big Walking Dead fan, so he'll show up on the post show called The Talking Dead, where all they do it's Chris Hardwick and like maybe an actor from the show and maybe like two guests who are fans of the show. And all they do is just they review kind of what we're doing. They just reviewed the episode that they just watched. And it does higher ratings than Raw. It's just more people talking about an episode that they just watched. It does higher ratings than what Monday Night Raw does on the cable. And this is AMC, so it's cable. It's the same kind of deal as USA. It's cable. Yeah,
that's pretty amusing. Yeah. Well, so yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it.
So we'll do probably a quick review next. A quick like predictions of Survivor Series, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, that's like I said, whatever we have. It's going to be a very low card. I mean, but that's what you get for falling in a 5-on-5 tag team match.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, maybe they'll find on Raw next week. They'll find a way to put another couple of matches together. I don't know what exciting matches those would be.
Like I said, the only other ones are Adam Rose versus the Bunny right now, and this 4-man tag team match, which might go long. That might go long, especially if it's maybe. It's gonna be a fatal 4-way tag team match for the title. Just make elimination. Yeah. I'm so sick and tired of Fatal 4-Ways, one pinfall to a finish, because they're just stupid. Yeah.
Plus, it's like then the Survivor Series scene kind of, too. You got,
I find it funny, though, that now, are Miz and Damien Sandow a tag team now?
Yeah, I guess so.
So Miz goes from single star now to glorified tag team wrestler now.
Yeah. I guess.
Once again, this guy main evented WrestleMania 27 as the champion at one point.
Yeah. So
man, the mighty have fallen.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens next week on Raw and I guess whatever else between now and then. Yeah. And discuss it and make our predictions on Survivor Series next week on the Great Wrestling Debate as always. So then maybe one of these weeks we'll get back to alternate wrestling history.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Want to do that maybe?
If you want to do one now, if you have any ideas.
Well, we had one pitch one last week. It was going to be what happened to Triple H at.
That's right.
I don't want to say never married Stephanie, but I guess if I followed the story right, they did that angle where they kind of, he drugged Stephanie and he went to like a Vegas wedding, and that's how they got married, and she got pissed off. But then turns out she actually was in love with him and that led to, of course, the Hemsley regime. And I mean, and supposedly that's where they started to actually date at that point. And that's when they actually fell in love. And I think they got married like in 2002, 2003. And that's when the whole couple then started in real life then. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the question would just be, if that did happen, if that angle did go through, would Triple H have the political pull as he does now in the company? Yeah. As it pretty much been, I guess you could say, second in command behind Vince, pretty much. Yeah. Although if what he does on screen compared to what Vince does on screen is an indication he's more hands on with the product than Vince is right now. Yeah. Vince at the end of the day is the decider. Yeah. I guess that's the best way to word it. I don't know. I mean, if you talk to Stephanie in interviews, she would say pretty much saying other lines of like, what, especially when they would even before the whole Stephanie and Triple H angle kicked off, like Vince would say, you got to marry somebody, Steph, and like You know, like you know, somebody like Triple H would be a perfect husband for you, and like Shane would supposedly like always go in and like try to correct Vince to go. You need somebody like Triple H, not actually Triple H, like somebody like Triple H maybe, something like that. So which you know would show you, I guess where Shane was thinking when it came to, I don't know, Dad, having a wrestler marry the boss's daughter is going to come off great in the locker room, and that, but I don't know. I mean, supposedly. Triple H has said constantly, because remember listening to his podcast discussion with Jericho, because he was a guest on Jericho's podcast, and they talked about, you know, his early career, but then at one point, you know, Perich said, well, when did your involvement backstage really officially kick off? And he said, he said, I guess it started one day when Vince just wanted me to hang out at a meeting one time, just a creative meeting, just hang out. And then, you know, it turned into one meeting, then two, then three, and you know, and this is when he was an active wrestler. This is even before the whole, like I said, Stephanie deal and that. But so clearly Vince thought Hunter had this knowledge of wrestling and that, you know, and you can kind of see he has this, even with his mentality, he has this classic sense of wrestling, which makes sense. He was trained by Killer Kowalski, you know, who was a legendary wrestler and so on. So I mean, you can kind of see that there. I mean, granted, I remember there's a funny story told one time about. Which just can explain maybe why Kurt Angle might never set foot in WWE ring again. How Triple H kind of had this maybe mentality towards Kurt Angle in a negative way. Yeah. Because I don't you followed too much of the Stephanie Triple H storyline, but at one point, Kurt Angle was kind of hitting on Stephanie as far as characters go, like not really, but in characters and that. Yeah. And there's kind of some jealousy between Triple H there. At one point, Triple H like even said like, "Well, I don't know why we're pushing Kurt. He's not a big guy, you know, because Kurt's not really a big guy." Right. Yeah. And I forget who it was, but somebody actually proposed to Triple H and says, well, how about then you and Kurt have a shoot wrestling match and we'll see who wins. It comes out on top then. You know, kind of like point out, well, okay, Mr. Big Guy, you don't think Kurt's that tough of a guy? You should be able to kick his ass in a real fight then. Yeah. You know, of course, Kurt's an amateur wrestler, a Olympic gold medalist and that. So Triple H kind of like backed down after that and said, you know, so I guess he realized, oh, shit, Kurt can kick my ass in real life probably. But that's just a funny story. But anyway, I guess going back to was that, look, I mean, I guess in reality he would have he would if anything, if he didn't marry Stephanie, I would say he would be a backstage agent. Yeah, of some kind. Yeah, you know, or maybe even work on the writing staff and that. That's about it. I don't see him being the heir to the throne, though. I guess. I mean, he's essentially Vince McMahon's son-in-law's. You know, exactly. Part of the family. You know, I mean, right now the company. Family. I mean, granted, the company right now is considered a family business, which Ryback assumes Triple H is going to take over the throne because Shane has conceded. Which the question: if Triple H didn't marry Stephanie, would Shane be the heir to the throne now? Yeah, would he be more active in the company than he is now? Because really, he's not even an employee anymore, I believe, or even an employer. He works for. Actually, I think at one point he worked for UFC at one point. He actually worked for UFC, but I think they let him go or he left or something. But he's been like working at other places. Like he doesn't even work for WWE anymore. Like, he's no longer an actual employee. And actually, if you see him now, he looks nothing like he does on television. He has like white hair. Now. Yeah, no, like. And the thing is, too, like he's probably younger than or the same age maybe as Triple H and obviously Vince McMahon, like his, in recent years, I think he's been like, throwing on some brown dye to his hair and everything. And yeah, but you can even tell, but looking at his facials, he looks so old. Yeah, like he actually does look his age, like now finally, like whatever youth he had left is gone. Like he looks so old now when he comes out to the ring. Yeah, I mean he's got the white hair. And, I mean, But yeah, no, I mean, so you can bring that up there too. But I guess all I'm just saying was I don't think he would have the pool he would have now. Now, granted, I keep hearing rumors all in all that the goal at the end of the day for Vince McMahon is that before he dies, he wants to sell the company to maybe a group. Like, kind of like pull what George Lucas did with Star Wars, maybe. Hey, if it's sold to Disney, it's a corporate entity. Corporations usually last longer than the individual does. Yeah. And of course, we know what happened there now. Disney's going to make Episode 7 come out, so obviously Star Wars will live on for another generation, pretty much. Hopefully, the movies will be good for a new generation. But so maybe for Vince, to keep the company going, maybe sell it to a corporate entity. Then, like, granted, once you sell it to a corporate entity, they have no really direct ties to the company. Yeah. So pretty much in their mind, if the company doesn't give them money, the investment doesn't give them money, then they can just drop it and fold it. Then pretty much whenever they want.
Yeah.
Once again, no other than Disney and Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't produce Disney money. They can drop it just like that. It is an acquisition. They own it, so they can drop it. But no, I mean, the way Triple H has been wording it is that he believes Vince is gonna be the decider till the day he dies. So
yeah, it seems that way. And going back to Raw last week, essentially he made the Authority versus Team Cena. If the Authority loses, they're out of command, I guess, or whatever. He made that stipulation. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
in a sense,
they even are even promoting it as Vince is still the higher up.
Right? Yeah. He's still the chairman of the board.
Like Triple H runs the day-to-day operations there, but at the end of the day, I'm the decider.
Yeah.
I'm the decider at the end of the day.
The chairman, yeah, exactly. The chairman is still the.
So I guess at the end of the day, whenever there's an angle that happens you don't like, it's probably Vince's fault. He's probably the guy that pushed for it in the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because even Triple H said he will fight Vince, but he even said, look, that might be one. That might be one reason why he also got liked by Vince, because he knows what buttons to push at what moment for Vince.
Yeah.
Because he says, look, like any other guy, an individual, you got to know who you're dealing with to work well with that individual. He says, with Vince, there's good days and bad days, and if you catch him on a good day, you might be able to get him to work with you more. And if it's a bad day, I mean, so I mean, look, I brought up was just like, look, I think as owner of wrestling history goes, I don't think he would be the heir to the phone, Triple H, but I think Shane would be. But I don't think he would be pushed to the side either, because, like I said, he was involved creatively with the company even before he married Stephanie. Right. Great. Just as far as maybe just sitting on meetings and that, But so he would probably be involved in a backstage manner now, but maybe not as much as what he is now. I mean, look, even the Undertaker now, suppose he is working in a backstage manner now. I mean, suppose he's working down at NXT on a part-time basis now. Looking at which, like I said, if you're a young guy in NXT now, that I listen to the man. If he gives you praise or even criticism, I take it as legitimate as it can, because that guy, for how long he's worked and how long he's been able to stay relevant for so long.
20 plus years now.
Pretty much almost the same gimmick. Granted, he revolutionized the gimmick once in a while, or revamped evolved it, which is what you got to do to stay relevant. So, but once again, I mean, so I could see Triple H maybe even maybe Stephanie being in that kind of a role probably. But no, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I think as far as who would replace Vince would be completely different if he didn't marry Stephanie.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I mean, obviously share your thoughts on that, send your comments in, and any questions on the, future episodes of the Great Wrestling Debate here. And I guess maybe next week we'll think of another alternate wrestling history topic. So yeah, that's I guess that'll wrap it up for the Great Wrestling Debate today. And like I said, next week we'll predict Survivor Series. I guess whatever other whatever else they have remains to be seen. And
as of right now, I only see 5 matches on the card and one kickoff show match. So if that's the case, expect, I guess, long matches. I guess that means even the Divas match will go 10, 15 minutes. Maybe then
it gives them a reason to maybe extend that. I don't know.
I mean, you still got to have 3 hours to fill time, no matter what you look at. It's I mean, granted, it's usually less than 3 hours because especially even with providers still, they can't go over 3 hours. So most times usually end around 2:45 at least.
Yeah.
Or at least goes 2.5 usually. But so, I mean, but my guess is long matches.
Yeah.
And the best case scenario is when you throw in the entrances and the actual match, the Survivor Series match might go a full hour maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
If you include entrances, which don't count towards match time, and they milk the introductions or milk something like that, and the match goes maybe 40 minutes, you might be looking at a good, maybe slightly hour then for that.
Yeah.
So that leaves maybe a good 1 hour and 30 or 45 minutes to fill in the rest of the card then, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and we'll talk about what happens on Raw, obviously, next week as well. So stay tuned for the Great Wrestling Debate, as always, and thanks for tuning into this edition.